Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presented the interim budget today in the Parliament. Remember that this is the budget just for the next few months ahead, given the fact that we are having Lok Sabha elections. To talk about that and the implications, not just for the economy as a whole, but also particularly the aviation sector, we have with us Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia. Thank you so much, Mr. Scindia, for speaking to us here at Times Now. Let me ask you for your first reaction as far as the Union budget presented by Finance Minister this morning in the Parliament. How do you look at it, particularly as a short-term financial plan ahead of the Lok Sabha polls?
Madhav, this is a budget that is a continuum. It's a budget that's a continuum that will lead to the transformation of India as a country. The Prime Minister has outlined, charted the vision for our country. That vision is to transform our country into an Aatm Nirbhar country. That vision is to transform our country into a Vishwaguru. And that vision is to transform our country onto and catapult it onto the world stage. And therefore, with that resolve, the budget is a very, very important element of that translation. And if you look at this budget, the refrain, which is based on four sectors, on women, on youth, on our economically deprived, as well as our farmers. And therefore, this budget encompasses something for everyone, which is a continuum of the transformation that the Prime Minister has led. As far as the youth are concerned, there is almost a 1 lakh crore fund that has been set up for new sectors and new areas to fund startups. Almost 390 universities have already been set up, 7 IITs, 7 IIMs, close to about 16 AIMs have been set up. New education policy has been put in place. As far as women are concerned, we are looking at welfare, where Ayushman has been extended to all our ASHA workers. Mudra loans, almost 30 crore loans have been given to women. Every house in rural India under the Prime Minister's Aviation Yojana will the Malikana Haq and ownership rights and the key will be given to a woman. So really making women as part of the central force of India's growth momentum.
Right. If I can also ask you about your department in particular, that is, of course, the Civil Aviation Ministry. Now, there is a proposal to decrease the budgetary allocation as far as the Regional Connectivity Scheme or UDAN is concerned in the financial year 2024-25. How do you see this actually impacting upon the plans for the Regional Connectivity Scheme?
So let me say this, that there is no real decrease in the RCS scheme. The RCS scheme has two components. There is a CAPEX component and there is a VGF component. The VGF component is self-sustainable. The CAPEX component, 4,500 crores, was given to us in phase 1. The Finance Minister gave us 1,000 crores in last year's budget for an additional 50 airports. We have built 76 airports, waterdromes and heliports through the UDAN scheme across the length and breadth of India. And we are looking at building out another 15 to 20 this year at the bare minimum, and continue that so as to take the number of airports from the original 74 in 2014 to 149 today to close to 200 by the year 2030.
Right. Sir, if I can also ask you, as far as the ministry itself is concerned, in FY25, 2,300 crores have been allocated. Now, this is a decrease from the budget estimate of FY24. How do you plan to utilize this budget that has been allocated given the current challenges that the sector is facing?
Your voice was cracking, Madhav, but if I can just give you a glimpse of what we have in plan. We have a close to about a 98,000 crore capex program in plan for the next 3 years. Close to 25,000 crores of that is going to be spent by Airports Authority of India, where we are going to expand close to about 42 brownfield airports and build out 3 greenfield airports. Of the 3, Hirasar, Dholera, and one additional, and Holongi. Holongi has already been built out. We are in the process of building out Hirasar and Dholera as we speak. 63,000 crores or odd roughly will come from the private sector, where close to about 7 brownfield airports will be expanded and about 4 greenfield airports are being built. Of those, the 3 main ones, one has already been built, which is Mopa, Goa, and the other 3 main ones are Jewar and Navi Mumbai, as well as Bhogapuram in Andhra Pradesh. So we have close to about 63,000 crore capex plan in place from the private sector. Just to let your viewers know as well, by the end of February, early March, we will have built out T1 in Delhi, which will have a capacity, a cumulative capacity of 109 million throughput. Delhi will become the 2nd largest, biggest airport in the world after Atlanta. So that's the kind of scale that we're looking at. Our 6 metros together had 221 million throughput 2 years ago. We are today at 261 million, and we're going to grow that to close to 426 million by 2030 or 2031. On the metro fronts, that's the plan. As far as domestic aviation is concerned, we had 6 crore travelers in 2014. That grew to roughly about 14.5 crore by 2019. Last year, we closed at 15.2 crore. And by 2030, I look at that number doubling to 30 crores. So that's the huge growth that you're seeing in this industry, which is why you've seen with a fleet of 400 in 2014 growing to 700 today. And Akasa, Indigo, and Air India have put in orders of over 1,000 aircraft between 2030 and 35. So the civil aviation sector is going to assume unprecedented growth over the next 5 to 6 years, and in the days to come will probably be, we are already today the 3rd largest domestic market in the world, the 7th largest market in the world. I see us becoming the 3rd largest domestic and international market in the world by the year 2030.
Right, and if I can also ask you, you mentioned the Delhi airport, and the passengers at Delhi airport as well as different parts of North India have had a very difficult few weeks because of the kind of weather, the kind of disruptions due to fog, long waits, a lot of flights cancelled, disrupted because particularly in Delhi of the Cat 3B landing system and the problems with that due to construction near one of the runways. How does the ministry propose to resolve this issue, because it has caused a huge amount of passenger pain in recent days?
So let me just say this, that we've had unprecedented fog this year. The 1927 runway is now both ends Cat 3 compliant. It has been for the last 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. That crane work that had been going on had already been on the highway had already been stopped. So it's Cat 3. It's been Cat 3 compliant for the last 2 weeks. As far as runway 1028 is concerned, we were expecting it to be on stream in terms of Cat 3 compliant by 15th of December, but due to the GRAP issues with regard to air pollution and work stopping and some supply chain issues, it's taken a little longer time. I'm looking at it becoming operational in the next couple of days. So we will have then all the runways Cat 3 compliant in New Delhi. Fog is something that we can plan for, but there will be disruption, as is the case across the world when you have unprecedented weather conditions. We put in place many steps. As you will recall, I briefed all the media and all of you, and through you our passengers. I understand the hardship that people have gone through, but we've tried to do our best in terms of set up war rooms. I've also, DGCA has mandated that any flight that is later than 3 hours must be cancelled. Passengers must be taken care of. We've taken very stringent action on certain slip-ups by airlines or airports as well to make sure that the message goes out loud and clear that customers and passengers have to be and should be always first priority. So in the last couple of days, things have certainly come under more control. But I think in the next day or two, with 1028 becoming Cat 3 compliant, I think we will see a much better situation emerge.
And my final question to you is one on politics in the state of Jharkhand. We've seen over the last several days a lot of developments coming in, and pictures coming in a short while earlier of the legislators of the India Alliance sitting on board an aircraft attempting to go to Hyderabad, and that also some amount of fog over there. But beyond that, I want to get into the politics, because the opposition, we've seen Mr. Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, many of the India allies alleging that this is the government trying to strong-arm the opposition by using intimidative tactics and misusing central agencies. How would you respond to that charge?
Vis-a-vis Jharkhand, what is very clear is that where you have certain individuals that have committed wrongdoings, they have to be responsible for their actions. We are very clear that the law has to take its own course, and I'm very confident that in the 24 elections, once again the people will hugely bless not only Prime Minister Modi but the NDA Gadbandhan, and give us an opportunity to be able to take the country forward under Prime Minister Modi's leadership.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Scindia, for speaking to us here at Times Now.